Coming up today on This Is True Really News, police in Nebraska are surprised.
Surprised, you tell me?
They're surprised, yes. I told you. If you like that kind of stuff, please like, subscribe, and follow This Is True Really News.
I don't like being surprised.
And if you're gonna, I think you're gonna get a kick out of this one. It's
no,
not,
I don't like being
it's
surprised.
Not gross. It's interesting.
Don't care. Don't like being surprised.
Yeah. But the cops were surprised. You can be unsurprised as much as you want.
I don't like it when cops are surprised. That's bad.
Well, it depends.
I'm sorry, where were you?
If you have a story that you think we could destroy, please simply send it to TITR@netradio.network.
Pretty much in any story, we could make it unusable.
Yeah, I mean, if there were a construction company that destructed stories, we would be the best one.
We would win gold medals if it were a sport.
This is True Really News with Scott Combs and Tony Vercanis. All the news you're about to hear is true.
Really?
As far as you know.
Over the last several months, Don Powell and his wife Nancy have been puzzling over uninvited inhabitants of their fancy mailbox in Orchard Lake, Michigan. Is Orchard Lake kind of hoity-toity?
I have no idea.
Or do they have a dump of a house and they just decided to put up a really cool mailbox? I don't know. USA Today reports that in August, 2 small dolls, a miniature couch, and a small table appeared in the mailbox. I was going to say, it was a kind of a prelude to Barbie, but no, not to fit in a mailbox. The mailbox, by the way, is custom built to resemble the Powell's actual home.
That's what I was guessing.
With windows and a solar-powered interior light that comes on at night. Tiny little bourbons. The dolls were accompanied by a note: "We've decided to live here. Mary and Shelley."
Where's Frankenstein?
He's off building his fiend. Powell thought by the way, it is fiend, not monster. Frankenstein was also the creator, not the fiend.
Correct.
Thank you. Powell thought as Dracula was actually the vampire.
I understand he was very popular.
Especially with the chick seat.
Yeah.
Apparently having a weird accent and fangs is a chick magnet.
No, I was thinking of the monster.
The fiend.
Right.
Yeah, but you're thinking of young Frankenstein, and that was just made up.
Well, I just thought that was history they uncovered.
Powell thought a neighbor might be spoofing him.
Duh.
Dog with a bone. But after exhaustive investigatory?
Yeah. Ooh, that's a great word.
Wow, you just don't hear that enough. People usually just say investigative.
Yes.
But anyway, after doing some snooping, he's no longer any closer to knowing the source of the tenants.
Nice.
Over time, the home gained a 4-poster bed, a dog, which is, sad because I'm pretty sure one of the Powells is allergic to dogs. And it's just,
that's bad. They
can't get the mail. It's just no one needs a cat.
They may want to get a bull.
Not in the house. A bull isn't outside the mailbox.
No, get a small one that fits in a car.
Bull.
Yeah.
Why?
Why not? I mean, wouldn't you?
No.
Well then.
I might get a llama.
I don't know if we can be friends anymore.
At Halloween, Mary and Shelley.
I'm not touching it. It's okay.
Wasn't her brother the poet?
Mary Shelley's brother?
Yeah.
I don't know.
He was the famous poet. She happens on the all-time bestseller.
Yeah, right.
For the Shelley family. Where was I now? Oh, Mary and Shelley. They were part of a group. No, not the Inklings, but like that. Mary and Shelley were replaced by 2 skeleton
tiny
dolls.
Version of the Inklings. You could call them the Tinklings. What? We could do something for that Twitch.
What Twitch? At Halloween, Mary and Shelley were replaced by 2 skeleton dolls dressed in black. At Christmas, tiny wrapped gifts appeared.
Okay.
Now Powell is thinking of writing a children's book about the mailbox mystery, saying, I don't know, I think it creates a novel story.
I think that's fantastic.
I want to know who's doing this.
Well,
That's
somebody,
ingenious. And it's also time consuming.
right? I wonder if they went shopping for the whole year. Can you imagine what they do at the high Jewish holidays? This could be fun. All of a sudden, some chicken matzo ball soup shows up.
Arbor Days, there's a little tree growing on top of the mailbox.
On Bastille Day, there's a little guillotine.
With a head in a basket.
Police in Nebraska.
Those were the days.
Were a bit surprised after they pulled a man over for driving on a motorway with a Watusi bull in the passenger seat.
This is why you wanted a bull.
It's called foreshadowing, Tony. Learn something about literature.
It's called Name him Fernando and write a book about it.
As you know, the Watusi is medium in
I suppose
size.
you could tell a bad joke about him, but the book is cooler. And
with cows weighing 900 to 1,200 pounds and bulls weighing 1,000 to 1,600 pounds.
Moo.
Officers received reports of the bull, reportedly named Howdy Doody, in a vehicle and assumed it would be a small calf or animal that would fit inside the man's car. Watusi calves routinely weigh at about 30 or 50 pounds at birth.
Moo.
However, this enormous black and white bull with very large horns was standing with most of its body sticking outside of the modified small white vehicle as it traveled down Highway 275.
It's riding in the car.
The passenger side door, well, kind of in and out at the same time.
Yeah, I was going to say he's probably bigger than the car.
Passenger side door had been replaced with a metal barred guardrail. It's usually found in a cattle enclosure. Also, the roof of the passenger side was removed to accommodate the bull's impressive horns. Happy?
I've been happier.
This from Ronnie Tucker. It's amazing you brought that.
Ronnie!
Up, sending it to me. Hey, Ronnie. A suburban Chicago man. Yeah, I was going
to say Chicago's in my neck of the woods, too.
Yeah, right. Suburban Chicago man is facing firearm charges after he told officers he accidentally shot himself in the leg.
Was he carrying it in a fold of fat anywhere?
Yeah, maybe. He ought to. It
seems to be a Chicago tradition.
He ought to rescind that statement and go back to the negligent. He negligently shot himself in the leg.
There you go.
Deputies found the 62-year-old man, who's old enough to know better,
you would think,
with a gunshot wound to one of his legs, applied a tourniquet to the limb because he was losing a significant amount of blood before being hospitalized.
I know what happens when you shoot yourself. Blood comes out.
The man told investigators he had a dream that someone was breaking into his home. And during that dream, he retrieved his .357 Magnum revolver and shot at who he believed was the intruder.
He thought he was the intruder?
When he fired, he shot himself and apparently woke up from the dream.
Sleep shooting is never a good idea.
Investigators determined there was no burglary attempt at the man's home in a northwest Chicago suburb. Ooh, that is the hoity-toity part of town, probably. But they found that his state firearm owner's identification card had been revoked, and he was still in possession of a firearm, so he'll be going to court.
Shoot yourself one little time.
Once, and look what happens.
Right away they grab. What's Illinois?
Sleep shooting. I had a dream last night.
Sleepwalking, I've heard of. Sleep nookie, I've heard of.
I've heard
of a lot of sleep things, but never sleep shooting.
Well, there's one guy who has to be really careful because he gets up and does things like jumps through his second-story window.
Sleep superheroing.
Yeah, and luckily he landed in the bushes. And
you ever landed in bushes?
No,
not luckily.
Their security detail gets in the way.
Hang on.
Thank you. I'm here all week. But he has to zip himself up in a sleeping bag and put mittens on to keep him from roaming around and doing dangerous things. Could be a thing this guy needs to do.
So kind of like werewolves, where you chain them up on the full moons. And
there you go.
Yeah. A 23-year-old teacher at Griffin Middle School in Tallahassee, Florida, was arrested in April. Angel Footman was charged with contributing to the delinquency of a minor, according to the New York Post. The charges came after school administrators learned that Footman was allegedly hosting violent brawls between students in her classroom.
Fight Club?
Was the first thought I had.
Well, first thing you do is you never talk about.
You never talk about Fight Club, so it could have been. Naturally, she set down rules because she's a teacher and these are students. You got to have rules.
Absolutely.
No recordings, no pulling hair, no screaming because people would notice that.
My brothers used to fight silently, except you could hear.
Fights must be limited to 30 seconds each. So do your damage quickly. However, several sixth-grade girls alerted the administrators, and video turned up showing Footman at her desk while students were fighting each other.
Sixth-grade girls?
Yeah, sixth-grade girls.
It's a tough neighborhood.
It is Tallahassee, Florida, known for its
Florida
people. So now we have Florida woman.
Nice.
Florida teacher person. What's left?
Well, I think we talk about dreams again.
I like dreaming.
Speaking of dreams, BuzzFeed asked their community about their dreams.
See, BuzzFeed's dream is to have a community.
What could go wrong? First one, I dreamt about the people who had waffles for heads, and someone took a giant bite out of the top of one of them, so he died, and they had a funeral for him. I woke up crying.
And stupid.
I was running through a maze, and all of a sudden...
She probably went to bed stupid, so never mind.
Kermit the Frog jumped out with a knife. I kept running until Dustin Hoffman rose from the ground and shot Kermit. It's funny. Last night I had a dream that I had a calf cramp. I woke up today really sore in my left calf. I hope I don't die in my dream tonight. So this guy flicks on the light to see Bruce Springsteen in complete Born in the USA.
No, man.
The guy's dreaming, sees Bruce Springsteen in complete Born in the USA get up, going through my sock drawer and stealing all my good pairs of socks.
You can't really go on stage without socks.
When I actually did wake up, I had to check the drawer just in case. Because,
did.
Bruce.
Known sock thief.
Sock thieves like him were born to run. I think.
Well, in their glory days.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Then they got old, rich, and just drove pink Cadillacs. Drivers along Interstate 5 near Eugene, Oregon. What?
Well, I was just giving you the,
Now I want to hear Pointer Sisters Fire. I can't.
That's a Springsteen song. By
he
the way.
wrote it for him. Actually, you know who he wrote that for?
Who?
Elvis.
Oh, that's right.
And then Elvis
I had
died.
forgotten. Yep. And the Pointer Sisters picked it up, and it was great. I loved his version of it too. We played that song.
No, I like the Pointer Sisters version, and only the Pointer Sisters version because it's just cooler.
I like it.
Are there any Pointer Sisters left?
Did they die?
Lots of them.
Is Bill Gates still alive?
No, because he was actually a Pointer Sister.
Well, you can see the relationship.
Good makeup. Drivers along Interstate, couldn't just let me go on, could you? Drivers along Interstate 5 near Eugene, Oregon, were startled, I say, to see a $100 bill. Oh, no, to see multiple $100 bills floating through the air.
Are they still there? Maybe we could go.
Road trip. Fox News reported in many cars, in fact, stopped along the highway to grab the money. Well, honestly, if $100 bills are floating down, how many people are not? Outside of Richie Rich's parents, really.
Exactly.
Thurston Howell III probably wouldn't.
Yeah.
Bill Gates, who we now know was one of the Pointer Sisters. When the Oregon...
He's 58 now and stopped performing.
When the How old is Springsteen? Like 100 and what?
Oh, 190. Did you ever see that special he did recently in his barn?
No.
Fantastic. It was absolutely worth it. And the music was fantastic.
But it's Springsteen, and I'm not a big Springsteen fan.
You're a country fan.
Or as Sinatra would say, Bruce Springsteen.
You're a big country fan.
I am.
You might like this a lot.
Don't think so. It's got Springsteen.
but it was very
I'm
interesting.
a big country fan. I don't like Taylor Swift. And she started out country. Her first hit was, I think, a song called Tim McGraw.
And their second one was Drop Kick Me Jesus Through the Goalposts of Life.
No, I believe that was David Allan Coe, but go ahead.
Okay, whatever.
No, it
Terry
wasn't.
Bradshaw did a
Bobby
version.
Bear?
I don't know.
Look it up. You've got a computer.
Oh,
Drop
Lord.
kick me. Now, where was I? Drivers, $100 bills floating, people actually stopping. When the Oregon State Police tracked down the source, it was Colin Davis McCarthy, who told them he'd been throwing the money out of his car to bless others. You know this?
Yeah.
Apparently it can be done out of a car. He said he had dispersed roughly $200,000 in $100 bills.
Wow.
As the police later revealed that McCarthy's family had been in touch, he had depleted a shared family bank account for his little Robin Hood moment. Oh, let's be honest. Robin Hood didn't rob from himself and give to the poor. Robin Hood took what was paid in taxes, which was their own money, and just gave it back to them.
Right.
So did you find it yet?
Yeah. It was written by Paul Kraft
Okay.
in the mid-1970s.
That's the guy that did HR Puff and Snuff?
No.
No, that was Sid Marty Krofft. Sorry.
Paul was obviously his brother.
That I can remember. Can't
Became
remember my
a
kids' names.
It became a hit for Bobby Bear in 1976. It's the Wikipedia describes the song as the world's only Christian football waltz. And that, I think, is awesome.
That proves why Wikipedia is so trustworthy right there.
I love Wikipedia.
So apparently if you mention Jesus in any song, it's a Christian song?
Yeah. Well, I like Christian waltzes that are about drop kicks. So
There you are. You're like in hog heaven.
This is true, really news. Send email to TITR@netradio.network.